Hey there, Changemakers. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello. My name is Kira Siva. I am a spiritual mentor and healer. And today we are going to check out what you don't see about your progress. Now, when I am filming this, it is at the beginning of the year, but this would be a great pick a card to listen to anytime you're working on a project, working on your just sort of yourself, your identity, changing habits, changing behaviors, and really if you wanted to understand your spiritual growth, that's kind of the intention. That's not kind of the intention. That is the intention of this reading today. I think one of the hardest things to see from my own experience is just, progress is done in small increments day by day. And sometimes you forget how far you've come because it's never sort of the final version of you. So that is what inspired this today. I want to help you keep up your momentum at the beginning of 2026. But really, this is a timeless pick a card reading. And again, anytime that you are trying to change from one identity to another, habits, working on your business, working on yourself, working on just whatever it is that you want to see progress in. This is going to be such a sweet message to help you really understand that, yes, you are moving forward. We're going to be working with your spirit team on that. And before we dive into the piles, if you are an intuitively awakened woman and you are really interested in really gaining more peace, bringing all the puzzles of the piece of your spiritual puzzle together, the pieces of your spiritual puzzle together. Wow, I could not say that. And really being able to cultivate just deeper mastery so that you can go out and be that badass leader that we all know you are. Check out my 10-week spiritual mentorship program. I start everything in cohorts. So the coolest thing about the spiritual mentorship program is that, yes, you get one-on-one time with me. You get week by week curriculum that is outlined and structured and easy enough to fit into your life and gives you really some focus and grounding and structure to actually make spiritual progress. Going through the process is really awesome because you actually learn the tools that you can use for the rest of your life. And on top of that, you don't have to do it alone. So not only do you get one-on-one time with me where I sit and really fine-tune your energy, okay, this is exactly where your soul is coming out. This is where you've nailed your intuition. This is the brilliance of you that is trying to birth itself into the world. Having somebody to be able to reflect that back to you will just take years off of sort of spiritual confusion and the lack of confidence, really. So not only do you get the benefit of that, you also get to be a part of a small cohort of like-minded women who are doing the exact same thing. I start groups of women together. So when we do meditation processes, it's not just you and me doing the meditation process. We have a group. It's not just you and me talking about these things, although it is you and me talking about these things. You also have the benefit of having other like-minded women that you can connect with, that you can talk through your experiences with, and that it's a safe space to actually share and explore your spirituality. Because let me tell you, one of the biggest challenges in spirituality is how freaking lonely it actually is for the majority of people out there doing their studies. All right, link is in the description if you are interested in that. Next cohort starts in February. Okay, this is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. And I will see you, my lovelies, over in pile number 1. Pile number 1. All right, pile number 1. This is what you don't see about your progress. And we are going to be checking in with your spirit guides today on this. All right, pile number 1. And if you didn't listen to the intro, I would encourage you to go back and listen to the intro for the inspiration and the intention of this. I'm not going to go over it here, but check that out at the intro. Okay, pile number 1, what you don't see about your progress. First of all, what I think is very interesting that's being highlighted are the horses in this picture. And typically in this guided steps, this horse doesn't feel Very horsey. Wow. Okay. It doesn't usually seem so pronounced. Let me put it that way. So your first message from your spirit guides is that you still have a lot of latent potential to unlock. So if you are worried that you are not enough, and however that looks like for you, you're not enough this, you're not enough that, if you're not, whatever your not enoughness is, your spirit guides want to come in and reassure you first and foremost that you actually are. And in the process of that you're going through right now, your enoughness will continue to unfold. This latent potential that you have will continue to unfold. This ability that you have, it's a little still your full potential is still a little hidden off in the corner. This horse that we assume is a horse is back here, right? It's not fully out in front forward, and we can't see its face, we can't see any details on it. So they're just highlighting, don't be so scared of not being enough. Trust that you are enough, and every step and movement and every positive thought, every time you get the action right, every time you take the next step forward, every time you do whatever it is you need to do in your process, that is helping you to uncover your enoughness. The heart of this message is around divine protection. Now I think we're even in the year. I haven't really checked out Chinese New Year. We're around that time that we are moving into the year of the fire horse. And so there is a lot of, if you were to imagine having a circle of Valkyries around you, like just the most badass warriors riding on flaming horses, this unbelievable courage and bravery and fierceness, that is what is surrounding you right now. That is who is protecting you right now. So you don't need to be scared of taking forward action. All you need to do is remember that you have help in the clouds. You have help all around you all of the time. It's just a really, really incredible time to continuously remind yourself, the universe has my back. The universe has my back. Like, if some situation that you're in doesn't look that great right now, you're just like, I don't know how to get over this one hurdle. It's like, the universe has got your back. Take the next step. The other thing that you probably haven't fully picked up on, although I would imagine that a lot of you have picked up on this to some degree, is you are actually getting more and more experiences of peace. So there is something magical about, one, aligning with your authenticity, and two, enjoying the challenge of life. Like, if life doesn't have any challenges and it's too smooth for too long, it kind of gets boring, and there's a difference between inner peace and boredom. So really what your spirit guides are highlighting here is you are finding the peace that comes with just saying, like, it's like sitting down to a really, like sitting down to a board game or a card game or a video game, and you know that you have to sort of play the game and navigate the structure and all of that kind of stuff, but you're not stressed about it. Like, a part of you is enjoying playing the game. You signed up to play the game so that you can enjoy that. So you have the benefit of having a peace that comes from aligning with your authentic self and your soul, and the peace that comes from enjoying playing the game you signed up to play. Your guides also really, I love the connection here. So what they just showed me is colors, of course. So we have this divine protection here with the yellow and the oranges and a little spot of blue. And then down here we have this support. So we have the beginning of the triangle. And then over here we have the gathering of self with a lot of blue and this streak of yellow. So this beautiful triangle. And we also have this action. And so there is so much protection. You have so much support around your actions, around your confidence. This feels very much like if you were really shy or took a hit with being a leader. You're like, oh, I got really criticized the last time I tried to be a leader. Well, this time when you go out and you start doing that, you're just surrounded in a positive bubble. Like that's this kind of feeling where it's like you are regaining your self-esteem, your confidence, your no bullshit attitude. And it's coming along because you have all of this support. You're going to find the people. You probably have a lot of people in your life now right now that support you. And there's going to be more. You put your work out there, there is support for that work. You want to take the next step of action. That next step of action is providing you, is protected. It's protected. So you can continuously move forward. Now, one of the most important things that you aren't seeing about your progress right now is this abandonment's echo card. Now, I love these cards. They're called the Shadow Oracle. And it seems like a deck that would be like, oh, highlighting shadows, and we're going to talk about the Oogie Boogies. And whenever I use it in a reading, it always winds up just dovetailing this perfect message, because we all have things that, feel like ouch when we look at them. And this one is for you. It's called the Abandonment's Echo. Recognize where feelings of rejection stem from. Trust that you never are truly alone. And isn't that beautiful? Because you have all of this protection, right? Like if your ego took a lot of hits, or you were, again, this unworthiness thing, like whoever told you you were never good enough for them, there is an echo of that you are overcoming and making progress with. And in doing that, a part of you awakens and says, I actually have support, and to get a piece of yourself back. The way that they're giving me this is like a third of the crystal comes back. And then you start being out in the world again. Like, is it safe for me to be out in the world again? And you're like, yeah, universe has got my back and I got the most badass protection around me. And a third of the crystal is given you back. And that final piece to that crystal that just allows you to go out there and kick ass and take names is when you truly love yourself at a very deep level, and the actions you do in the world are the gifts you give to yourself. And what I mean by that is, practically in your home, that looks like you're like, I am going to choose my outfits for the week, and every night I'm going to set out an outfit for myself. And you wake up in the morning after you set out yourself an outfit the night before, and you look at it and like this little ping says, I love myself so much. I set out my outfit. And then you go out into the world and you're like, you know what? F this job. It's not the right fit. And you go out and you find yourself a job that's the right fit. And when you wake up and you go to that job, you're like, you know what? This was a gift I gave to myself. I wanted to make clean money that aligned with my values, and I feel good about what I'm doing in an area that I'm competent in. And then you go out and you have relationships with people and you're like, I'm going to place friends in my life that bring me alive. And every time you interact with that friend, you're like, you know what? This person is in my life and they are a gift to me, to myself. And the same with your romantic partner. And all around you, in every layer and level of your life, are these gifts, these people, these places, these things that you have given to yourself as an act of true love to you, to yourself. And it's not about, I think people get worried about being narcissistic or ego, but it really is okay to love you. It is really okay to look in the mirror and say, I am enough, and believe it. It really is okay to give yourself beautiful things. And that's what your spirit guides really, really want you to understand, because that is the final piece, the final third of the crystal. And when you recognize that in your progress, every time you have not given up, every time you've tried again, every time that you have been like, okay, well, that didn't work. Let's shift it and let's try this way. those are acts of love. And you have every right underneath the sun, the moon, the stars, all through time and space to give yourself love, because it is pure, it is genuine, it is authentic, it is needed, and it ultimately is a beautiful experience for you and the experience of devotion for your whole just being aliveness. And ultimately that actually pays off for other people. And it's been a long learning lesson for me in this department, because I am an overgiver and a self-sacrificer and a people pleaser. But when you do learn that, and you learn it's okay to fill your own cup up, then you realize, hey, I have all this surplus that I can give out easily and freely, and it benefits everybody around me. So that's it. That's all. I love that. You have 2 more cards I just want to highlight here real quick. 1, continue to have faith in your dreams. Never lose your vision. We'll call these anchor points, right? This anchor point guidance. And 2, who you are moving into, the embodiment that this progress will eventually reveal. Man, I even talked about the Valkyries earlier. Is you're a warrior. You're a freaking spiritual warrior. I have some friends like this, and they are just, we're like, we're ready to ride at dawn. You know, like there's so much just incredible energy in that kind of a soul, a protector soul, you know, like, yeah, we need you running it optimal, please, because not only are you guys hella fun to be around, you're also really, really big forces of power. The way you move through the world, the willingness to stand up to people, the willingness to be courageous and do the right thing. Like you will, at this point, you will have moved from love so many times it will be intrinsic. And then you plus that with your innate power. That, my friend, is what the world needs more of. A fully embodied you. So your progress is doing great. Keep going. You are going to make it. All right, pile number 1. If you like this message, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. It's free to do, and it helps out the channel like you wouldn't believe. And if there is somebody you think would benefit from hearing one of these messages, feel free to share this with them. And pile number 1, until next time, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Number 2. All right, pile number 2. Here is what you don't see about your progress. Pile number 2. You have so many amazing colors in your messages today. I was delighted as I was turning over your cards. So I'm going to highlight those first because those are shared. Those are just like one cohesive message. If you're new to my channel, I am a color girly. I receive a lot of my messages by the color coordination of your beautiful cards. So up here we have this really fun, there's the rainbow aspect in these 3 cards. And granted, it is from the same deck. But you've got the blue, the yellow, the oranges. And you know what's interesting is that you have this circle, this mirror reflection, and then this vertical. So you have a vertical, a circle, and a horizontal. This aspect feels very artistic, very creative. And I want to point out the other ones before I dive into this message fully, but I want to highlight how interesting the shapes, the geometry, and the interplay of color is. So you may be a very artistic person, or something about your progress that you haven't noticed is actually just so much creativity unlocked for you, so much ability to see things from a vertical perspective, from a horizontal perspective, from a circular perspective. It's like the way that you perceive the world probably feels so normal to you, but if anybody else were inside your brain, they would be in awe. They would be like, wow, that's how this person relates to the world. Wow, because it's so beautiful. yes, the vertical is a different line than the horizontal, and then you have the circular. They're different, but they're very similar. And it's like you've had this way of integrating the interplay of your creative visions, your creative expression. If you were just to imagine the energy of the creation of life itself, dancing and playing and frolicking, that's a wild word coming through, frolicking through life. It's this very romanticized, very artsy, very abstract way of being in life, but like we need that. And those, because people like you are so connected to your soul through your creativity. When you think about having the expression of self flow through you, that is your soul flowing through you. The colors you choose, the shapes you choose. You know, I think about even things like the way you choose to dress, or the interior design of your home, or the kind of art projects you like to do. When you look at something and you feel just a very heart soul connection to it, that is a good GPS pin location mark for you to remember. That's what your soul feels like. One of the most interesting things I discovered about, it was like 15-ish years ago, 15 to 17 years ago, was like, the experience of your soul, you think is going to be this sort of blockbuster, giant Hollywood, explosive, you know, absolute bliss. And it's absolutely true. I think there is that too. But the day-to-day presence feels like the most normal and natural part of yourself. And I'm highlighting that because what you don't see about your progress is that this creative expression of who and what you are is your soul energy coming out of you. I almost want to say leaking out of you, but like it's just flowing. It's coming off of you. The way that your guides are showing me is this golden, rich light, like Amruta, that's sparkling and overflowing from a cup. And it's just coming out. Almost like, the other image they're giving me is the sun and the solar flares coming off of the sun. I love that. I love that. I was going to wait to say all that stuff, but I think it is just this really, really beautiful, colorful way of being. And they really wanted me to highlight that. You also have shining wisdom, energy flow, and shared journey. So your creative life, the way that you choose to express yourself verbally, artistically, how all of the millions of ways that you can express yourself, they want you to really recognize that you've actually been spending quite a bit of time in your perfect flow. Even if the exterior life doesn't match whatever vision that you have, you are first and foremost embodying all of that energy, and that is going out into the world. And there's something very special. I'm thinking of one of my friends who's very artistic, that this feels like this would be a pile that she would pick, because she's this incredible knack of getting license plates that are literally the words of things that are topics on her mind. But she's the sweetest human being, and she touches the lives of the people around her. And yeah, her life's not exactly perfect the way she wants it to be, but she is adding such a contribution to society. When I listen to her stories, I'm like, how many people would have never stopped for that homeless person? How many people would have never stopped to even, I mean, a lot of us would have stopped to feed the kittens, but like, as an ongoing basis, a lot of people don't do good-natured things. We tend to be very self-focused. And there are just those really compassionate people out there that, you know, if they're in your life, like at some point or another, you will be supported by them, because they are the embodiment of divine love walking through the world. And this feels very much like that. So if you were that person, like if that sounds like the kind of human being you are as well, this is definitely your pile. Okay. I may come back to these because I feel like I have so much that I could share about this, but I do want to get to your other messages as well. So down here you have destruction and compassion, releasing your anger, embrace others' differences, accept your own imperfections. What an interesting thing to have anger paired with compassion. Anger in our society is really seen as, at least for women, as something that an emotion you shouldn't be expressing. And for men, it's like you can express that emotion, but you're going to be labeled as dangerous and crazy. But I think that there is something very important in the way that you are choosing to release the frustrations, the anger, it's like having a pent up negative charge. And one of the ways that you are really doing that very well, that your spirit guides want to highlight, is you are really good with compassion. You are really good to say, you know, that person cut me off and was an a-hole in traffic. And at the same time, like, I don't know what was going on in their life. At least I am safe. And yeah, I'm angry about that because it was scary and dangerous. But also at the end of the day, who knows what was going on in their life. This also refers to yourself. Sometimes when you're growing, you can be like, why am I not growing faster? Why am I not getting this more? This conversation I have myself every day. Why am I not there yet? I should be there. I have everything I need to be there. I'm capable, blah, 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 blah. And you have your whole list. And what you're doing is when you start going through that sort of inner drive of like, why have I not hit my finish line? Why have I not hit my goal? You're at least able, or you will be after this message, to calm down a little bit and slow down a little bit and be like, hey, I've never known safety in this way, or I've had my heart broken over and over and over again in this way, or this is the lifelong patterns that I've been holding on to, and it's the only thing I've ever known, and even if it hurts, it's familiar. And I think that there is a kind of compassion and understanding your life story, the limitations of your nervous system, the limitations of your subconscious, when you were dealing with these expectations that you have of yourself and other people. And that's a huge deal. Now over here we have this beautiful sweet message. And look at the purples, the purpley reds. I love them. So you have full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. Queen Esther, the morning star. My ego is in service of my soul, and I trust my soul's divine timing and prayer. You have a very strong Shakti aspect, a very strong divine feminine aspect. Now, in my personal belief, we live on Earth in duality. So we have masculine and feminine, and we are very polarized on this planet by living in that duality. There is a point in time when you have done enough sadhana and meditation and spiritual practices, and your consciousness reaches certain heights where you realize that there's no separation, and like you drop the whole genderedness. I don't know. You drop the need to having genders. Here, though, I'm saying this because this feels very feminine, and at the same time, I want to highlight that because ultimately you are a whole source. You are a whole and complete piece of source. This here feels like the more feminine qualities of the divine, or that pure Shakti life force, because this is, if somebody were to breathe life into an individual, you are it. That's how much energy you have. And your higher self, your sort of more pure just soul, the Atma soul, is coming through in this very, very divine feminine way. Like you probably have female deities as your guardians, as the kind of deities that watch over you. This feels like a very evolved sort of soul, or an evolved aspect of you coming through and saying, continue to focus on the goddess. Continue to worship your goddesses. Continue to be devotional to the women in your life, to yourself if you're a woman, to the divine aspects of, like if you're a man, honor your inner woman. Give goddesses the priority in your devotional practices and in your spiritual sadhana, because it's like Mother Divine herself is working directly with you. And she, like the word she just gave me, it's like, she said, you're my child, like you are her child. You are her baby. She's watching over you and she's taking care of you. And so she wants to teach you directly. She wants to come into your dreams. She wants to actively work with you on your altar. She is actively asking you to sit in prayer and meditation and any form of Mother Divine that you want to worship. Please connect with her, because she's staring at you and she needs you to stare at her so she can teach you directly. And she will teach you directly. She will download packets of wisdom. She will show you how to read nature so that she can talk to you through the nature. Like, she is your personal guardian, which is really incredible. So if you ever want to learn some Mother Divine mantras from the Vedic and Hindu traditions, leave me a DM, leave me a message. I'd be happy to walk you through that and teach you those. Otherwise, your form of devotion to her, she will directly place in your heart. Okay. I feel like I was like very casual about that, but that's actually an astounding message. All right. This is getting kind of long, so I'm going to wrap it up with your last two messages. 1, you are in a massive, massive time of healing. And notice that we have this person healing sitting in the mountain and this person with their energy flow at the mountain. This is a good time. If you live near mountains or if you live near nature, go and meditate or go and sit in nature. That is healing. And there is no coincidence that we have a healing flow and that healing takes time. So you've come very, very far in your journey. You may not fully recognize how much progress you've made because, again, that healing takes time. It's like, why am I not at the end of this? But the reality is you are in the final phases, and enjoy that. And enjoy the nature, enjoy the silence, enjoy the connection with the mother, and enjoy the nurturing of being and knowing deeply that you are loved without condition, loved exactly as you are, in all of your beauty, in all of your ugliness, in all of your glory, in all of your shame. She is holding you. The goddess is holding you. Which leads us to our very last message for you, which is bring love into the situation. You are the love, and you are loved. So whenever you hit these stuck points, or whenever you are like, I just don't see what the goddess is seeing in me, just go look in the mirror and remember that I am loved, I am loving, and I'm wanted to be here. And just continue to pour love into yourself, into those wounds, and into the situations in your life. And continue to pour that love into all of your expressions and all of your progress. Okay, pile number 2. This was long. If you like this reading, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. And until next time, pile number 2, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Pile number 3. All right, pile number 3. This is what you don't see about your progress. Pile number 3, I was just telling pile number 2 about colors because I had a lot of color messages, and you also have a lot of color messages. So if you are new to my channel, I am a color girly, and the way that my spirit guides like to highlight, hey, this message is one complete message, is they do that through color. So one thing that just first stands out about your pile, you have a very dark, sultry energy. And I am here for it. I love this kind of energy. It is, this reminds me of like emo rock, but also the kind of people who know how to live in the shadows, and the shadows in the dark of night aren't necessarily evil or negative. Yes, that is out there, but a lot of really fun things happen. And a lot of really cool people have this sort of dark feminine, dark masculine energy. You can be an exceptionally good-hearted, cold-hearted person and have this sort of mysterious, I like the cover of nights, and I like the stars, and I like to talk about things that are taboo kind of energy. And I love that. My scorpionic side is absolutely coming out in conjunction with this pile. So let's dive into your actual messages. You have this evolving process and blessed growth, which have a lot of very similar elements. You've got the darkness in the clear passage, and even in the divinity. Okay. I was like gonna go into that, and I was like, wow, okay, my mind just went straight off to the space. You know how there is dark matter in space? That is where my mind went to. So I think that that's kind of interesting because, I referenced stars earlier. You're the explorer, right? You explore your interior world. You are that kind of person who, when they say shadow work, you say, yeah, I already did that. Okay. And I love this because this is my character too. Like, oh, you want me to go in the deepest, darkest recesses of my mind and to face every single demon and turn the lights on in all of the rooms that were previously hidden? You want me to study the occult and the mysteries of the universe and know the secrets of the universe? Like, yes, to all of the above. This is you. Like, you are exceptionally good at navigating your interior world. You are exceptionally good at picking up how the subconscious mind is automatically active, and you don't hear it. You understand how to pick up your subconscious beliefs. You understand how to read the subtleties of yourself, of other people, of the situation. You are the master of the person who knows what the words are happening in the silence in between the words. There are people out there who are master wordsmiths. They are eloquent. They know how to shape sentence structures. You may be that, but it is because you are so good at deep psychology. You may be into things like hypnosis, NLP, but you're also that person that I think from very, very early on in life, you learned how to listen to the silence and understand the unspoken messages. You are very good at context clues, and you are very courageous. So you're in this time where you are really, really going for more enlightenment stages. You are in the, it's like you are trying to uncover all of the secrets of the universe, or the things that are hidden and unseen, so that you can have this bigger picture. And I love that we have this guy's image of standing here like a baddie, and then you have her. I always just think, whenever I pull out this card, like, this is a woman who takes no shit from anyone about anything. If you're going to be in conflict with her, she will finish it. And that's this sort of underlying courage I'm really picking up in your reading. You have these 3 red cards. So you are just that kind of person where you have clarity and courage. If there is something that you want, you focus in on it and you're like, that is the thing I'm going towards. What this is saying in your reading today is that you have been going towards divinity. You have been going towards, how do I reach the highest level of consciousness? How do I really evolve my soul? How do I use occult practices? How do I use astrology? How do I use the subconscious? How do I really explore my interior world and use that to reach the unseen world? And so the progress that you're making is that you have a very clear path to divinity. Your clear path to divinity is like a person walking under the moon. Like you're walking on the mountainside and it is moonlit. It's funny because they're actually not giving me a full moon. It's like a new moon, a crescent moon. It's not a lot of light. And I think that there's something so important to understanding how to walk with courage in the dark. Like if you were to walk around in your society and you're like, everybody here is very ignorant and I know some things that they don't know, and you're not a bad person. Like you're not out there to cause more pain and harm to these humans around you. You're like, I know how to fuck with you just enough to make you guys wake up. I know how to slide in things to the conversation, or I know how to hold my energy in such a way to uplift the people around me, because I can stare somebody's darkness straight in the eye because I know how to stare down myself in my own darkness. And that is such a special, it's a treat. I would not be surprised if you too are a Scorpio, or if you have strong Scorpio placements or strong Mars placements, or feel very connected to like dark goddesses, right? Hecate. I don't know why the other ones, Kali. Like those aren't goddesses that scare you. You know that they're tough teachers. They're ones that you're like, that's my goddess, right? Like I'm not scared of the dark. I know how to work with the shadow puppies. I love that. I love the sassiness of this pile. The other pile was so light and creative, and you guys are like this deep, sultry. It reminds me of dark chocolate and like a really full-bodied wine. It's beautiful. Okay, over here, you got an extra Moonology card. So one, I almost forgot to mention something here, so I'm stuttering a little. I apologize. So over here, you are getting through some deep-rooted issue. This is you doing shadow work. This is you overcoming some sort of negative life pattern, or even you reaching for something. So say you've had a marker on your calendar forever and you're like, I plan to reach trance-like states of meditation. I want to leave my soul, I want to leave my body and bring awareness as I am soul traveling. I want to do lucid dreaming. I want to talk to spirit guides in my dream. I wanted to astral project. All of that kind of stuff is really being asked right now, that you are making progress. You are making progress. So continue to do your practices. If you are really into lucid dreaming, that is doing your reality checks, right? It is a good time for you. If it's something like a spiritual practice, just keep doing the practice. You're making progress. If this is you overcoming a negative trait, turning your pain into purpose, this is really about you knowing that you can actually do that. We all have our dark sides, and if you want to be a very light, bright, helpful person, you have to integrate the shadow. And integrating the shadow is not easy, right? Like the pendulum swinging one way, the swinging the other way, and you're trying to find that balance in between. So whatever pain you've been carrying, whatever negativity, it's not even pain. It's like the way that they're giving me this is, I don't know how else to describe this, but if you were a person, this is a little bit of a trigger warning. I'm going to talk about abuse. If you were a person, a child whose parent was abusive or abandoned you, and you have this part of you where you're like, that freaking demon is in my blood. I am half that person that did these bad things. And you're doing all of these practices and you're having to confront, like, I want to be a good person and I came from bad blood. this is saying like, yes, and you are so powerful that you can break generational patterns. You are so powerful that you can purify your bloodline. You are so capable. We made you into a warrior so that you can cut the negativity that is coming through your family karma, coming through your genetic line, coming through your epigenetics. Like, you have to be a really strong warrior. I've heard some of y'all's stories. Like, you guys are some warriors out here, and you are really, really, really doing very hard work. And it makes sense that so much of your life is about fighting this darkness, right? Because you are literally looking at these lines and going, it stops today and it stops here. It stops with me, and I can do it. And you know what? You 100% can. You 100% can. And that's what I think is so alluring about doing these more mystical practices, because every time you touch divinity, every time you see that other side, every time you tap into the hiddenness of life, the things that we don't see in our day-to-day, you are liberating your consciousness. You're waking yourself up to reality, and then that makes dealing with what you have to deal with in your day-to-day way easier. Because you're like, okay, this is another one of my dreams. Like, I can handle this. All right, so you are evolving. You are growing into this. You are moving into this. You have a very clear passage to divinity. And something that you don't see about your progress is that you have actual growth. You have an actual tree. Your roots are deeper than you understand that they are. And you are actually getting progress, and in the soul realm, like, you're being celebrated there. You are making contact, my friend. The thing that you are reaching out to is reaching out back to you, and you are making actual progress. So it takes time. It takes you really building awareness. You know, the practice of being present for 30 seconds in your day. You do that a couple of times a day. You're doing your reality checks. All of those things, when you are waking yourself up to have a lucid dream, and by wake up, I don't mean physically wake up, but your consciousness, every activity you are doing to strengthen your consciousness is paying off. And then no matter what state your body is going through, the waking state, the falling to sleep, the being asleep, the waking up, the being awake again, through all of those different stages of awareness, the more you strengthen your consciousness, and the more you can track and watch yourself as the non-judgmental observer or the witness, that is liberation. That is that enlightenment you are looking for. That is that cosmic connection where you do that enough times and you start to see really interesting things. You do that enough times, you start to remember more and more. You do that enough times, and at some point in your waking life, you look at the other human beings around you, and you can see that one consciousness that underpins all of us. And it's a really cool experience. And I hope, and I know that you're going to get there, because you are a baddie. All right, your last message, because this is getting so long. The mother of believers and the step out of your comfort zone. This is just a strong encouragement to continue to be as confident as you have been. Like, if you felt these moments where your confidence has wavered, don't go do stupid stuff. Don't get yourself in trouble out in the soul realm. Don't get yourself in trouble in the world. Don't get stuck in your interior world. And be confident. Like, you deserve to be confident. You deserve to walk with this attitude. You have the attitude, keep the attitude, and keep going with the attitude, because it is working for you. Okay, pile number 3. I love this sultry pile. I don't know if there's a bad emoji, but leave me a new moon, a full moon, or a bad emoji below, because, or a scorpion. I'm down with that too. I love me some dark goddess energy, and I love me some shadow people. the good kind anyways. Yeah, you guys are totally awesome. Keep kicking butt and taking names. And and please, thank you for being here. Please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. It's been a long day. All right, file number 3. Until next time, have a beautiful and blessed day.